Welcome to the Yappin Podcast. We are live. I'm your host, Rafa, and let's start yapping. So today, the Ravens took a terrible loss in Cleveland, where they went into the game 9-point favorites. The Ravens now sit at 5-3, and people have to what? Are people wondering why are they 5-3 with that roster? MVP quarterback, running back that Derrick Henry's been phenomenal, and they have very common things that have happened in those three losses, with the exception of, the Chiefs game is opening night in Kansas City. Kansas City probably got some call. We don't know. But anyways, so today, let's break down the losses real quick. So the Chiefs, Lamar threw 41 pass attempts. He was 26 of 41 against KC. Against the Raiders, a game they led from I think it was the 8-minute mark of the first quarter until the very end, probably the 3 or 4 minute mark of the fourth, where the Raiders tied it and then got the ball back and won it with a field goal. Lamar was 21 of 34. And then today, where they were in the game, they had a lead at halftime, they had a lead in the third, but at the end, they ended up losing the game. Lamar was 23 of 38. So in those three losses, Lamar Jackson has thrown the ball 113 times in three losses. In 5 wins, Lamar's thrown the ball 97 times. 97 times. He threw the ball 15 times in Dallas, a game they dominated. It was 28-3. At the end of the game, Dallas came back, but, you felt like, the Ravens thought they had the game in hand, and I was there. I witnessed it. The game against the Bills, where they absolutely trashed them, 13 of 18. The game with the Bengals was just, that was a different game. It was a shootout. Lamar, kept it in there, but he was still only 26 of 42. And then against the Bucks, another just a blowout game, 17 of 22. In those 5 wins, Lamar's thrown the ball 97 times total. So this man has thrown the ball 16 more times in 3 games in their losses. And why is that? Why is Todd Monken calling these plays to drop back and pass with Lamar, when you clearly, the recipe is feed Derrick Henry, let Lamar run the ball a little bit, let's keep it simple. And in my opinion, last year when they lost to the Chiefs in the AFC title game, it was the same situation, and you were never down more than a score in that game. You might have been down 10 at one point, but the game never felt out of hand, and you're just dropping back to pass and dropping back to pass. That is not who Lamar Jackson is. Lamar Jackson is the most dynamic football player in the NFL. He just happens to play quarterback. Is he a better drop back passer than 31 other guys? He's probably a better drop back passer than maybe 22 of those other guys. But he's not top 10 in dropping back and passing. So we should not, at least the Baltimore Ravens, should not consider that a way of winning and getting to the Super Bowl. By the way, I picked the Ravens to win the Super Bowl, and I still think they can win the Super Bowl. I think they have the roster to do it. They definitely have the head coach to do it. Now, do they have the offensive coordinator to do it? At this point, I don't think so. The Raiders game, they pretty much had a 2-score lead for the middle of that game. And for Lamar to throw 34 passes in that game, you had a lead. I mean, you need to get on the back of Derrick Henry and Lamar and simplify the game. You have to run the ball if you're the Ravens. That is what's going to make you effective, and it's clearly been proven. It has clearly been proven that that's what you need to do. And a lot of people are going to say, oh, Lamar's the best quarterback in the NFL. He's 2 MVPs and blah, blah. He's not. He's not, because you have to be able to throw the ball consistently, and you have to be able to win games with your arm. He won the game last week against 2 weeks ago against, I think it was last week against the Bengals, or 2 weeks ago against the Bengals, sorry. He won that game with his arm. But the Bengals defense isn't very good. We saw them allow 37 points today to Philly. The Bengals are 3-5. We're talking about in the playoffs, how you're going to win a game. And we clearly have seen that it does not come on the arm of Lamar Jackson. He is dynamic with his feet, and that's what needs to be implemented.
So what do you have to say about people? I'm about to share something with you that, they say that he has an arm and all of that. So let me play this video for you. And if you watch here.
No, I watched the game. Trust me, I saw this. They had drops today. So I know this ball off his helmet, and I think he loses it in the sun.
He's long to the middle of the field. Bateman, he had it.
No, that was brutal. And Bateman dropped another pass where it was a first down. It was a first down. By the way, Zach says Dak with an awful interception. That game's going on live right now. We'll get to that in a little bit. But I know the Ravens had drops, and I know they did. But at the end of the day, these stats don't lie. Like these numbers don't lie. When you have that many pass attempts in just 3 games compared to 5 wins, it's a different deal. In 5 wins, he's averaging about 19 pass attempts in the 5 wins. In the 3 losses, he's averaging almost 35. Actually, more than 35. He's averaging about 37. If my math doesn't, about 37.2. That's just quick off the dome, by the way, for you guys. So he's averaging almost double the pass attempts in their 3 losses. And 2 of the games, like the game today, they were never down more than 10. I don't even think they got down, or they might have got down 10, but I'm not sure. I don't remember if they were down 10, but they've never been more than a touchdown and a field goal out. The game against Tampa, they were down 10-0, and they just took off, right? But at the end of the day, in that third quarter, when you watch that second half of that Tampa game, what put that game away? It was Derrick Henry's long run. That's what put the game away. Because after that, it was just like a blow to Tampa. They get the ball, they get the Ravens get the ball back, and then now they start running the ball, and you have to be able to run the ball with Derrick Henry and Lamar Jackson. That is what Lamar Jackson is the best in the NFL at, is running the ball at the quarterback position. He's not the best at throwing the ball, and he's not the best at making decisions. We've seen him make bad decisions as a runner. We've seen him fumble the ball. We've seen him. He gets a little loose with the ball. So, but he definitely is the most dynamic quarterback in the NFL that we have. And I think, in my opinion, that's where you need to start. You need to look at this game plan. My guy needs to throw 18 to 22 balls a week. That's what he's got to do. I got to give the ball to Derrick Henry 15 to 18. Lamar's got to run it 7 to 10. The other back, Justice Hill, he can run it another 6 to 8. That's where you're going to be at. That's where you're going to win games, Baltimore. You're not going to win games. You're not going to get to the Super Bowl on the arm of Lamar Jackson. He's proven it week in and week out, with the exception of the Bengals game. And we know that the Bengals team, we saw what they did today. And they're sitting at 3-5. So you couldn't do that to the Browns today. Okay? You didn't beat the Raiders doing that. You didn't beat the Chiefs, and you didn't beat the Browns. By the way, the Ravens have 2 losses to the Browns and the Raiders. The Raiders have 4 combined wins. One of the Raiders wins is the 2 Raider wins are the Browns and the Ravens. So imagine that. A team that's really struggling in the Raiders. And they beat the Ravens early, and then they fell apart. But the Ravens need to take a hard look, and Harbaugh's got to sit down with his offensive coordinator and his quarterback and say, hey, this is the team that we are. This is our identity. We drafted Lamar Jackson to be Lamar Jackson. We didn't draft Lamar Jackson to be Tom Brady or Patrick Mahomes or Dan Marino. He's Lamar Jackson. He's a one of one. There will never be another Lamar Jackson. He's one of one. Be Lamar Jackson and get your team to the Super Bowl, and you could probably win it.
Do you see them, like, at this point with his throwing ability, do you see them getting to the, like, I see a repeat of what happened last year, them getting to a key playoff game and then them having to rely on his arm and not being able to,
and see, if you go back to that game last year, they didn't have to rely on his arm. They were never down more than 7, I believe, in that game. Like, that game was always within reach. They had the Zay Flowers fumble near the goal line, and that shit happens. But you still, at the end of the game, in that second half, there was still plenty of time to run the ball. Plenty of time to run the ball. I know they didn't have Derrick Henry. They had injured, and he's always had injured running backs. But right now, you have Derrick Henry, and he's fully healthy. And I'm not telling you feed him 25, 30 times. But Derrick Henry has shown you that he can take it 15 to 20. Lamar another 7 to 10, maybe 12. That is your best offense. It is proven. It is proven. And the teams they beat, by the way, let's go through the teams they beat. They beat Tampa Bay on the road. They beat Dallas on the road. They whooped the Buffalo team at home, by the way. Whooped them at home. And they beat the Bengals. So, I mean, that's what we got to look at that.
Yeah, they won 5 straight: Cowboys, Bills, Bengals, Commanders, and Bucks.
Yes, so that you need to take a hard look at that there. So
yeah, Yeah, but we're gonna move on. We're gonna move on to we're gonna play a little game. I'm play a little game with you. I wanna see where your mind is at. So for everybody that's watching, Two Nobodies podcast live on Wednesdays. Link is in the description. Make sure you subscribe to our Two Nobodies podcast on Wednesdays. But our host, Eddie, is just not a fan of my guy who's playing right now, Mr. Brock Purdy. And so
Well, it's
I
not
want
only
to
Eddie,
know.
by the way. It's a lot of people.
Right. It's a lot of people, but in our circle, our guy Eddie, he's the champion. He, like, as he would say, the conductor of the train of the Brock Purdy hate, right? And so I want to see where your mind is at. We're gonna play a little game. Who you got? All right.
Give me a list. Give me what we got.
I got you. Brock Purdy or Jameis Winston?
Oh no, Brock Purdy.
And why?
Well, I mean, Jameis Winston is. We saw today he won that game. The Ravens dropped 3 interceptions on defense, and they dropped 3 easy interceptions on defense. I'm talking interceptions. There was one in the end zone where, I mean, it just hit him in the chest. Kyle Hamilton could have sealed the deal with an interception there at the end of the game. He dropped that as well, by the way. So, I mean, and they had another drop in the fourth quarter, another interception. Jameis Winston is liable for interceptions. That's why he lost the job in New Orleans, and he lost his job in Tampa. So he is very liable to throw interceptions. So, and there's the history of that. Brock Purdy hasn't given me a history of throwing interceptions. He had a terrible game last week. No doubt about that. But he hasn't given me a history of throwing interceptions like that. So definitely Brock Purdy.
Brock Purdy or Jordan Love?
Oh, man, Jordan Love.
Oh,
man, Jordan Love. Are you kidding? And he went down today with an injury. But Jordan Love is a phenomenal young player. He's so smart. And you know what? What I noticed, and I love, this is what I like about Green Bay. You saw Rodgers sit for so long with Favre, and you never saw Favre play. I'm 1,000% sure because you weren't born probably. So, but when you watch Favre, all the mannerisms that Rodgers has, those are Favre, right? And you watch Jordan Love, and that's Aaron Rodgers. Like, they sat behind and they learned, right? And so Jordan Love's remind me so much of that. His decision making is pretty good. I love Jordan Love. I love Jordan. I think you put Jordan Love on the Niners, and they don't lose a game. This is my opinion.
Okay.
That's my opinion. I love Jordan Love. I think he's a phenomenal quarterback.
I'll take a Pookie Purdy on that one.
Oh.
Brock Purdy or Kyler Murray?
Oh no, Brock Purdy. Brock Purdy. Kyler Murray's a little too small, loose with the football. I love what he does with his feet, right, and his arm. He's got a hell of an arm. But I think Kyler Murray's gotten used to that, just running around, and because he's had a bad O-line for a while, and he doesn't, they haven't. Kyler Murray is too small to be like a Lamar type of guy where they can just get a good running back and just run the ball in that way. But Kyler Murray has a hell of an arm. His arm is better than Purdy, I'm sure. The problem is with the decision making. I think he's too loose with the football, and so. But I'll take Purdy, but not by much. Not by much.
All right. Brock Purdy or Derek Carr?
Oh no, Brock Purdy easy. I mean, Derek Carr's a joke. Let's be real. Derek Carr, one good year, and I felt bad for the guy. Right, I feel bad for the guy. Some of the Raider fans hate him. There's other ones that love him. I mean, the ones who love him, whatever. That's a dumb part of the fan base. The ones that love him. I mean, you talk to Eddie, I'm his co-host on Two Nobodies, and he'll let you know about Derek Carr. So he'll even take Brock Purdy over Derek Carr.
Yes.
So, yes, for sure.
Brock Purdy or a healthy Tua Tagovailoa?
Oh no, Brock Purdy. That's easy.
Oh,
that's easy. And I'll tell you why. Because when I see Tua has amazing weapons in the backfield, out on the sides, right? He's got Jalen Waddle, and we've seen what Purdy can do with weapons. And don't tell me that the receiving core of the Dolphins isn't better than the receiving core of the Niners. I mean, if you don't think that Waddle and Tyreek Hill are better than Ayuk and Debo, and you throw Kittle in that shit, those two guys in Miami are better. I'd put Purdy with that. And we've seen what Purdy can do with weapons. And so I take Purdy over Tua.
All right. Brock Purdy or Justin Herbert?
Oh, man. Justin Herbert.
Ooh. Oh,
Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert is for me, I think Justin Herbert is more of a traditional quarterback who can take the initiative to step up and run the ball. when he needs to. I mean, today he ran for a first down. He might have ran for like 30 yards. Justin Herbert's a better thrower. We've always people always kind of have given him like a pass, kind of. They blew a 27-0 lead in Jacksonville, I think it was, in the playoffs. And that was, in my opinion, that was coach, right? That's my opinion. He did have receivers, but they were always hurt. And so Herbert, when you watch him, I think he's perfect in Harbaugh's system, but also wasted in Harbaugh's system. So it's like he fits it perfect because, Harbaugh had Andrew Luck at Stanford. And Herbert reminds me a little bit of that. Luck was more of a better runner than Herbert. But when you see them drop back and in the pocket, their coolness in the pocket, the presence in the pocket, the calm, cool, collected, I prefer Herbert. And now this is the thing: when you do this game, you just take Herbert and punch him into the San Francisco, right? I think Herbert is a better quarterback than Brock Purdy. Now, but they're on their own teams, right? So they're literally like, I would take Herbert, but not Herbert on the Chargers. I'd take Herbert on the Niners, right? So, at the end of the day, like, we know Brock Purdy last year was top 5 statistically. We had a roster that was top 3 in the league, obviously. So you need a roster as well. I'm not going to discredit Purdy that he didn't do shit. Still had to make the throws and win games. But Herbert, just as a natural quarterback, like, I think Herbert is better. That's
okay.
My opinion.
All right. Brock Purdy or Trevor Lawrence?
Oh, no, Brock Purdy. Are you kidding? Trevor Lawrence, I've been on that hate train. I'm telling you, I would tell people and they didn't believe me. And finally, some people said, listen, you watch these guys in college. And these guys in college, oh, yeah, he's this good and da-da-da-da. I watched him, I think it was last year college. He opened the season week 1 against Miami. And Miami was a terrible team at that point. And so he drops back to pass, throws an interception, and it gets called back for holding by the defense or something, right? Very next play. Throws an interception, drops back, throws to the same side, throws an interception again. And the play gets blown dead. Oh, no, false start on the right. He had already dropped back. It was a quick drop back throw. And then 2 plays later, he actually throws an interception. So, and I knew right then, I'm like, dude, this guy's. And then he gets that win, the 27, it came back from 27 down or 24, whatever it was. And it's like, dude, you watch this guy on a week in, week out, and I don't know, he's not that good. I think Brock Purdy's a lot better.
I feel that. I like that. All right, Brock Purdy or Matthew Stafford?
Oh, man. It's a tough one, man.
I wrote this down, and I was like, damn, this is hard for me.
It's a tough one, but I'm going to say Matthew Stafford. I'm going to say Matthew Stafford. I mean, Matthew Stafford's thrown for 5,000 yards in this league with one receiver.
True. He's proven.
I mean, he literally, the Rams, he did what everybody knew in the league that he was when the Rams traded for him, plugged him in, won the Super Bowl. They knew it. Everyone knew it, that Stafford was that good. He was just in a shit situation at that point. And he was in a shit spot, and he came over to the Rams and he won the Super Bowl. And Stafford is proven that he can play, man. And it doesn't matter who's playing out there with him. The man can play.
I like it.
The man can still play.
I respect it. All right. Brock Purdy or Joe Burrow?
Oh, man.
Come on now.
It's easy to say Joe Burrow. It's easy to say.
It's really not.
Well, it is, because he's been to a Super Bowl and he's been to 2 of the last 4 AFC title games. However,
what has Brock Purdy done on the other side?
No. That's why. Let me finish, man. However, when we look at Burrow's last 3 years or 2 years, they've struggled, and he has arguably one of the 2 best receivers in the league. 2 or 3, 1, 2, 3, however you want to put it. I don't think anybody cares, right? But so you have 1, 2. So he has one of the best receivers in the league. Is it coach for Burrow? Is it decision making? I don't know. At this point, when we look at just last season and the beginning of this season, I'd have to take Purdy at this point. Right now, you gave me 2. I'm talking 2 years ago. I'm taking Burrow, obviously, but right now, what Purdy's done consistently the last 2 years, what Burrow hasn't been able to do, and has to win games. Like, Burrow's sitting at 3-5 right now. They were at home this weekend, at home playing a Philly team that hasn't looked good even after the bye. So, But nobody will take Purdy over Burrow, but I will. That right this week, right now. Well, you will. You're a Niner fan. That's kind of
no. But on these, I have to be objective. Like Matthew Stafford over Brock Purdy, I agreed with you. I said Matthew Stafford has proven more. He's been in this league longer. If I'm putting him on the Niners right now, we're probably almost as dominant as the Chiefs are on the NFC side of the ball, on the NFC side of the NFL. So
right. If we're comparing resumes, like Stafford obviously has been in the league so much longer.
Right.
But if we just go the last 4 or 5 years for Burrow, and we go the last couple for Purdy, which is what he's played, they've pretty much done the same thing.
Right.
NFC title game, which he got
Super
hurt,
Bowl.
and I thought they would have won, and then a Super Bowl appearance, and then but right now Purdy's struggling, but Burrow hadn't done any better, right? The last 2 years, Burrow hasn't given me anything. They won a playoff game at the Bills a couple years back, and that was pretty much it. That's all she wrote. They haven't done shit since, and right now it's sitting at 3-5 in a division where you have the Steelers and the Ravens at 5-3, and I think 5-2, with the Steelers getting probably a gimme game at home tomorrow. They could be 6-2. The Ravens at 5-3. You're at 3-5. You think you're coming back in that division at 3-5? I think not. Joe Burrow. Let's go to the next one.
All right, Brock Purdy or Jared Goff?
Oh man, today, I will take Jared Goff 1,000%. 1,000%. I think the Detroit Lions, and I thought before today, I thought the Ravens were the best team in the league. After today, I think Jared Goff and the Detroit Lions are the best team in the league right now. And I know the Chiefs are undefeated, and everybody knows how I feel about Mahomes. I think he's phenomenal. I think he's the best quarterback on the planet, walking, dead or alive. You heard me, Tom Brady. But Jared Goff right now, I think the Lions are the best team in the league, and it has a lot to do with Jared Goff, Dan Campbell, of course, Ben Johnson, all the receivers. Gibbs has been phenomenal. Montgomery. I mean, the list is endless. I'm not saying Brown. I mean, the list is endless, right, on the Lions. Right. But we're doing Jared Goff, Brock Purdy. I'd take Jared Goff over Brock Purdy.
I would as well. I second that motion. All right, final three. Brock Purdy or Jalen Hurts?
Man, this is going to be unpopular, man. Give me Jalen Hurts. Give me Jalen Hurts. I watch Jalen Hurts. Everybody know. People know. I went to bat against this 2 years ago when they went to the Super. When the Eagles went to the Super Bowl, and they lost to the Chiefs. Of course, they lost to Mahomes. I said Jalen Hurts, but watching Jalen Hurts today, and I watched that game in its entirety. My daughter's boyfriend's here. He's an Eagles fan. So I got finagled into watching that shit. But man, listen, I'm going to tell you, Lamar is the most dynamic with his feet. Jalen Hurts is dynamic with his feet. Not close to Lamar, but he is a better thrower than Lamar Jackson and Jalen Hurts. What he does with his feet, and granted, Jalen Hurts has fucking weapons. Okay, there's A.J. Brown. You had to see the play. The thing is, the throw he made today to Devontae and the opportunity he gave to Devontae to make that catch, that was a hell of a throw and a hell of a play by Devontae Smith. And I know he has weapons, as Brock Purdy has weapons. But today, if I had to pick and choose, I'd take Jalen Hurts today over Brock Purdy. And everybody, I've always just distributed Jalen Hurts hate. Right. But man, he looks good. He's a lighter skinned Lamar without the speed, but with the better throwing arm. If you do it in Madden rankings, and I don't know what they are, but because I don't play that shit. But in my opinion, if Lamar's 99 speed, Jalen Hurts is 87, but the running ability is right there.
Wow. Okay. All right.
So
last two, Brock Purdy or Josh Allen?
Oh no, Josh Allen. Josh Allen, man. Josh Allen right now is arguably, he's playing the best with the fewest weapons. They added Amari Cooper. They have a rookie receiver in Coleman, I believe. They have, Dalton Kincaid, Dawson Knox. They don't have as many weapons. He doesn't have as many weapons as he had before. Well, he had Diggs before and he had Gabe Davis, but he's doing the most with the least of the quarterbacks. And he is playing the best of the quarterbacks. I think he should be the MVP at this point. He's doing the most at this point, but he's playing the best of the quarterbacks right now. So I definitely take Josh Allen over Brock Purdy any day of the week and twice on Sunday.
I agree with that. And this last one is the one that we have discussed before on the Two Nobodies podcast again.
Better not be Patrick Mahomes.
No, no,
That
no,
man, that
no,
man's on his
no,
own fucking
no,
island.
no. He could not be put on this list. I would not have
Okay, good,
accepted that
good,
slander.
good,
That's
good, good,
self-slander. But
good.
this is the one that we talked about. Again, for the people that are watching, hit the Two Nobodies podcast subscription in the description below. But this is one that I have an unpopular opinion about, and I think you share. You may not, but Brock Purdy or Lamar Jackson.
No, man. The thing is, Lamar is dynamic. Lamar is super dynamic. Lamar has his system, has to be his system. I don't think you can take Lamar and throw him in San Francisco because they'd have to change their entire system. As far Lamar is going to get out and run, and you see when he drops back to pass. And so I don't know if it'll work exactly the same. Lamar is a better quarterback. I'd rather have Lamar. If I'm the Niners, would I rather have Lamar? Probably not.
No.
Probably not. But I'd rather have Lamar. Like if I had to pick and choose, I'd rather have Lamar Jackson. He's more dynamic. But I have to have Lamar Jackson with Derrick Henry. Like because Lamar's his elusiveness and his speed. He's dynamic as shit. And so, people say, well, what about Lamar and Christian McCaffrey? I don't think it would work the same. I think Derrick Henry is just such a bruising back that when you're getting that bruiser, right, running into that line 2 or 3 times, 4 times in a series, and then you get Lamar's elusiveness, that's just, that leaves that defense shook. Lamar is my opinion, better than Purdy. But so I'd take Lamar. But if I'm the Niners, man, I'm keeping Purdy.
I see this on TikTok. It's on our Two Nobodies TikTok. A lot of people are like, you guys are disrespecting Lamar. You guys are talking about the best quarterback, not mention Lamar. At the end of the day, when I need my quarterback in the most crucial moments to throw the football,
Lamar can't do it.
He cannot do it. And so at the end of the day, when you're talking about a quarterback IQ, being able to throw the football, taking it all in, like you're talking about the whole thing, I'm taking Brock Purdy over Lamar Jackson because I think Brock Purdy up here is going to push me through than Lamar will with his feet because Brock Purdy is a better gunslinger at the end of the day.
Yeah, no, there's no doubt about it. I mean, Brock Purdy's, but like I said earlier, when we opened with Lamar, I think there's 22 guys, 23, 24 guys that are better throwers than Lamar. The problem is that Lamar brings the dynamic factor into it. And that's what fans or people out there, that's what they don't separate, right? Like Josh Allen can run the ball. He can run the ball with power, and he can throw it a mile. And his accuracy is a lot better than Lamar's. Like it wasn't in previous years. I think he's gotten a lot smarter. Making decision making has gotten a lot better for Josh Allen. So, and I think to be honest with you, I'm sorry to interrupt you, but I'm just watching Josh Allen, I feel like without Diggs, it's like a sigh of relief. Like I'm serious. You watch him out there, and he's like, it looks like he's just playing freely. Like he's just flowing. Like I could throw whoever the fuck I want because I got a rookie receiver. Now they have Amari Cooper, but he's coming over from the Browns, right? At the end of the day, and Amari seems like a guy who's gotten along with everyone everywhere he's went. The Raiders, the Cowboys, the Browns, and so on. So you're not getting. I feel like with Amari Cooper, he didn't get a prima donna wide receiver like he had with Diggs. So I feel like he's just different. I don't think there's that pressure to force the ball in certain spots because he was really bad in the red zone. I mean, he'd have trouble making decisions in the red zone, interceptions, and from plays that should have been touchdowns or drives that should have ended in touchdowns, end in field goal attempts or turnovers. So I really believe that his offense, I think he's just playing less pressure to force the ball into somebody, and because he doesn't have the yapping, I think, on the sideline or in the locker room.
He doesn't have the prima donna shit, all the BS before and all the BS on social media that comes with Stephon Diggs. I totally agree with you. I think that as a quarterback, knowing that you can step on and off the field and your weapons are not going to be possibly talking shit on social media and showing up in flaunty ass outfits and crazy outfits and just distracting the team, I think it's so much easier. It's so much easier.
Yeah, and he looks good. He looks phenomenal. I think he's playing the best right now. I think Josh Allen right now I think the MVP is a 2-horse race right now this week, and that's Josh Allen and Jared Goff.
Absolutely. And I just want to, before we move on, that Patrick Mahomes MVP bullshit needs to stop. It needs
that's
to
insane.
stop.
Listen, I love Mahomes more than anyone. You know, the guys on the Two Nobodies pod, they always say I'm glazing Mahomes and blah blah blah, and it's true. I think it's just greatness. But the point is, he's not the MVP, and he shouldn't even be in the conversation. Like his team, put it this way, his team could go 17-0, and if these are his numbers, and Josh Allen's team is 14-3, Josh Allen's the MVP. If Jared Goff's team's 14-3, and Mahomes could go undefeated, if these are his numbers at the end of the year, keeping up with this pace, there's no way he deserves the MVP over those two guys. And I understand. Don't get me wrong. I think Mahomes is the best player on the planet.
Agreed.
I think he's the best player alive. Take it from there. Okay, so
Facts.
Yeah, so but for him, you know, and you can remove him from that Chiefs team, and they're not even close to what they are. And you can clearly see it, like this decision making. And the thing is, like today, when you're watching that game with Mahomes, they get the ball, I think, with like 3:50 left in the third. They ran that thing. They're like a 14 or 16 play drive. It's a methodical drive. The clock's ticking. The guys are staying in bounds. He's making plays with his feet. Like, it's just like for them to take that, you know, an 8-minute drive. And this is what I tell people week in and week out. Like, you know, if Mahomes is down in that situation, he's not taking an 8-minute drive.
No,
he's not taking 8 minutes to get down the field and put it in the end zone. Mahomes plays to the way the game is playing. And people don't understand that. Like, watch the game. He's literally playing to the pace of the game. Because believe me, if he would have been down 14-0, that's not the pace they're playing. He's getting up there, moving and grooving. And it doesn't matter. He doesn't have any weapons besides Kelsey. You know, and Worthy had a touchdown today. And Kareem Hunt's running the ball pretty good. And you know, they're running with like 3 tight ends out there too. So Mahomes is the best player in the league. He might be the most valuable to the team. But when your defense is number one, you're not playing like it. And it's clearly Josh Allen and Jared Goff are right now 1-2. And if Lamar's team was 6-1 or 6-2, he would be in the talk. But at 5-3, looking at what they've done as inability to win games with his arms, or actually losing games where he's throwing that much, is a problem. So, but I think right now it's Josh Allen and Jared Goff. I think Mahomes, you can throw him into 4th or whatever in the MVP voting if you want. And if you're a gambler and you see that Vegas has Mahomes' favorite, take the other 2 guys. Take Goff and take Josh Allen because you're going to get better odds, obviously. Because those 2 dudes are playing like MVPs week in and week out, carrying the teams.
100%. But moving on is my Buffs. And the Buffs are bowling. And they're bowling this year, baby. And Deion Sanders has completely revisioned this team, revisioned this program. And I was just a year too early. That's just what it was.
Way too early. You're way too early. Yes, Colorado's at 6-2, bowl eligible. Still competing in the Big 12. But the first 3 teams in the Big 12 are so much better than them.
Yes.
Are so much better than them. Like, that's the thing. I think there's such a huge drop-off from the first 3. Iowa State, BYU, Kansas State.
But sorry to interrupt you, Alpha, but can I say this? Out of all the conferences, Colorado at that 4th place spot has the best chance of a 4th place team to sneak in because that conference is crazy. It's the craziest of all the conferences to me.
It is the craziest. It is the craziest. But if we look at this, Kansas State has 1 loss. Their 1 loss is to BYU, who's ahead of them. Colorado already lost to Kansas State.
Yes.
So if Kansas State can just stay at that 1 loss, Colorado can never jump them, right? And they already faced BYU. Now, I don't know if Kansas State plays Iowa State or not. And that should be a doozy. Kansas State pulled out a tight one last night against Kansas. Shouldn't have been that tight, but they pulled out a tight one there at the end.
Kansas State does play Iowa State last game of the season.
Okay, so that's going to be right there. I don't BYU. Give me BYU's schedule, man, because they look good. We called it on Two Nobodies about 3 weeks ago. Zach and I, or maybe 4 weeks, 3-4 weeks, about 3 weeks ago. Zach and I were on the BYU train. You kind of jumped off of it.
I did.
You didn't want part of it.
I did not want part of it because look, like those
I know
games.
Now, this is a tough game this week at Utah. I think it's a tough game. Then they get Kansas at home. Arizona State's played better, but I don't think they can beat them. And then they get Houston. This week right here for BYU, huge game at Utah, right? And Utah is not what they should have been, and they've struggled. And they struggled this last weekend against Houston. I don't know. Did they end up winning that game? I know Houston's a very bad team, Utah, and that was like 14-14. Although Houston did go into TCU and somehow beat them. So
they end up beating Houston 17-14.
Yeah, so no, they lost to Houston 17-14.
Oh, sorry, they lost to Houston 17-14.
Jesus Christ. So I mean, we'll see and we'll cover that game on the Two Nobodies. But BYU in the Big 12. So yeah, Colorado, everyone's excited for Colorado, and Deion's done a hell of a job. Man, at this rate, if Deion ends 9-3, because I don't know if Deion's losing at this point. I don't know what he has left. I don't know if they have Iowa State left.
I'll pull it up right now.
We can look at that, but man, Eddie's going to be spot on with his Florida State take. And I didn't think Florida State was going to be bad. That was the thing. They're just atrocious. So he's like, fuck it. He assumed they were going to be bad.
These are tough games.
Yeah, going to Texas, a tough one. Going into Texas, a tough one. They get Utah at home. They go to Kansas, and then they go to Oklahoma State. I don't think they can end 9-3. I think I see 2 more losses for them.
Wow.
But, yeah, that Texas Tech game is tougher than what people think. That Texas Tech team is a lot tougher than what people think it is. But let's say Deion's team does go 10-2. Is Travis Hunter, and Travis Hunter had a game yesterday, phenomenal game yesterday. Is Travis Hunter in New York, or is Sanders in New York?
No, we're not going to do this. I'm not taking this.
Okay.
I'm not doing it. I'm just not with you. I'm not going to do it with you because this team without Travis Hunter. Oh, I'm gonna say this. In my lifetime. I'm gonna say this. In my lifetime, Travis Hunter is the most dynamic player that I have ever witnessed on a college football field. Period.
You never saw Lamar Jackson play?
Oh, no, but Lamar Jackson didn't play DB on the other side of the field. That's the difference. The difference, Rafa. Lamar Jackson was electric. He was amazing. Travis Hunter is doing what Lamar Jackson is doing and then going on the other side of the field and doing the same thing.
He did it this week. He does it every week. He does it every week that he's playing. Well, that's the thing. He's got to be playing. After this weekend, we revisit the Heisman talk, and I think it's Cam Ward. But after this weekend, I still think it's Cam Ward 1, but I put Travis Hunter 2. And I'll tell you why. And I just can't get over the fact that Boise State plays garbage ass team.
Oh,
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I cannot consider. I watched this guy play. He didn't give me anything dynamic against
the UNLV team. They played the
team.
Second best team in the conference, Rafa.
In their conference. Didn't this team lose to fucking it doesn't matter. It's their conference. That's the problem with it.
Oh my God.
That's the problem with it. But as of this week, I got Cam Ward winning the Heisman. Travis Hunter, number 2. That's just this week. We do it on a week-to-week, baby. Alshon Jeanty, go home, player. You're not making it to New York. Give me Cade Klubnik up there.
Wow. Over Ashton Jeanty?
Yes, 100%. 100%. Because he's a running back running against nobodies. Let me ask you something. If the kid from Marshall this week runs for 200 yards, are you going to say something?
No, but the guy.
But why not? Why not?
Because the Army
quarterback has 19 touchdown passes. By the way,
exactly.
I mean, 19 touchdown runs.
Oh, Rafa, your screen is.
Oh shit!
We're starting it. We're starting it. We're gonna take a quick break, guys. Don't worry, Rafa is going to be right back. But my point is that Ashton Jeanty, you can't just dismiss him. You can't dismiss Ashton Jeanty. You can't just say that he's playing nobodies. At the end of the day, Rafa, he averages 9.9 yards a carry. So when he's averaging almost a first down, you can't just dismiss it and say it doesn't matter. Like, you can't. It doesn't go away.
He's not averaging a first down anymore.
But it's damn near.
But he's not.
But it's damn near, Rafa.
And you know who is averaging a first down?
Who?
You know, the kid from Marshall.
Oh my God.
The kid from Marshall averages 10.1 yards a carry.
Oh,
He has 771 yards on 77 carries. So
we're doing this.
But we're not going to do this anymore.
We're not going to do this. We got
gonna-
the game of the week. Penn State, Ohio State. And my big question to you is, I think Kirk Franklin has the better team. I think he has the better team. I think he has a better coaching staff. And I think that overall, what we've seen, Penn State should win this game.
Now, Aller got hurt in the last game. Is he?
I understand
start? It's going to be the key. If he doesn't start, I feel like Ohio State's playing like the Chiefs a little bit. I feel like they're playing like to their opponent, like to the pace of the game, which obviously didn't work against Oregon. But I feel like that's what they're doing, and you know, this will be a telling week to see if they are doing that. And so, I don't know, man. Penn State struggles against Ohio State. Franklin struggles against Ohio State and Michigan. So, you know, and so we'll see how this game goes. I don't know. I like Ohio State, and I don't know what the spread is, but I'll take Ohio State. Anybody who wants to bet me, we can bet it on Cut, Kutt, Cut Bet. Download the app. Use the code Yappin. Should pop up on your screen. And I'll take Ohio State. You take Penn State, whatever the spread is. I don't know what the spread is. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, whatever it is. I'll take Ohio State, and you can have Penn State at home. Ohio State, and I think they're going to get it going soon. But I really feel like they're playing to their opponents at this point. And like they're just too leisure, like hang back or whatever. I don't know. But I like Ohio State. So I'll take Ohio State versus Penn State. I'll take Ohio State on the road in Happy Valley. You want to bet it with me, we can bet it whatever the spread is. We'll put it up on Cut, Kutt. Check it out. And
Yes.
give me the Buckeyes. Give me the Buckeyes. Give me Ryan Day. The
So-
Buckeyes own Mr. Frank.
So for everybody that's watching, so Cut is a platform where you don't bet on Prize Picks. You're not betting against a company. You're betting against your friend. So instead of you going on Cash App or on Venmo or on Apple Pay, you're going on Cut. You're making you're making your own line. You're changing the line. You can change the spread, change any factor you want, and you can bet whatever you want. And Rafa is saying that he is taking Ohio State, and I think I might bet it against because I don't know.
Bring it on, baby.
I don't know,
I'll
but
take
link
Ohio State.
is in the description. Please hit the link description. Please use the code Yappin for a 10% deposit bonus on your first deposit. But
There it
let's move on. We got to pick. I want to play a little game, Rafa. I want to play another game with you, and we're going to play a game called Pick'em. We always talk about these dumb fan bases and the sports fan bases and how bad they are, man.
Man, listen, to be respectful to all fan bases, they all have stupid fans. Just so you know. But go
But
ahead.
some are worse than others. But some are way. No, Rafa.
I think it's just where you live.
No, Rafa, I know
Okay.
some fan bases as a whole
More
are
delusional.
worse-
They're more delusional.
delusional.
Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
So we're gonna play a survive in advance game. I'm gonna give
Okay.
you two fan bases, and you're gonna tell me the dumber one. All right.
Okay.
So we're gonna start with
Can we use more delusional?
more delusional. More
right.
delusional.
Yeah,
delusional. That's fine.
dumber's offensive, man.
Oh,
we gotta
whatever.
stay woke.
I'm
Fucking dummies. Let's go. Who's the dumber fan base?
Who's the dumber fan base? 49er fans or Raider fans?
Oh man, this has to be Raider fans.
Raider fans.
Either
All
way.
right,
Either way.
Raider fans or Cowboy fans?
Cowboy fans. Dumbest
Oh my
fans
gosh.
on the planet. There's no doubt about it. The dumbest fans on the planet, hands down. They win the whole fucking thing.
I'm not sure about that. Watch this.
Oh, I don't know.
Cowboys fans or Chiefs fans?
No, Cowboy fans. Easy. Dumbest people on the planet.
Cowboys fans or Travis Kelce, Taylor Swift fans?
Oh, shit.
I hit your ass. I know it's gonna
Yeah,
get you. I
man.
know it's gonna get you.
Yeah, you know what? Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift fans, they're out there. They're just, but it's still Cowboys for me. That's close though, but it's still close for me.
Wow.
Because I feel like the Cowboys fans, they always have an excuse. Like, oh, if Romo would have held on to that kick in Seattle, that extra point or whatever the fuck it was, or the field, whatever the fuck it was. Oh, if we would have done that and we would have drafted fucking this guy and we would have jumped from the rafters and da-da-da, like all sorts of stupid shit. So it's still the Cowboys fans. Although the Taylor Swift and Travis Kelce, I think that's what got me banned.
Wow. Yes,
So,
it did on TikTok. It did.
I did.
But
Yeah.
Cowboys fans or Dodgers fans?
It's kind of unfair. It's kind of like a repeat questions because Dodger fans and Raider fans, same, and still the fucking same. There is no difference. It's the same. Oh man, but dude, I'm still gonna say Cowboys fans.
Wow.
I mean, Cowboys fans, the delusion, it's insane. It's unmatched. It
Wow.
really is. It's unmatched. There's one fan base who might be dumber, but
You
I don't know.
can't say it. Yeah.
I
you
don't
can't say
know if
that.
you have them.
Wait.
I don't know if you have
All
them.
right. So Cowboys fans or Mets fans?
No, I think still Cowboy fans. I think
Cowboys fans?
yeah, I think it's still Cowboys fans. I think they are cream of the crop.
Cowboys fans or Bama fans?
Oh no, Cowboy fans. Because
All right.
Bama have won, right? So when
Yeah.
you've won within, you know,
You can be spoiled. You can be
Yeah.
bratty.
yeah.
All right. Cowboys fans or Ohio State fans? Same premise.
It's still Cowboys fans, man. Because Ohio State fans are still at least relevant
Yeah.
when the season is over. Like they're right there. Like, you know, CJ Stroud lost a hell of a game to Georgia. And people thought if Marvin Harrison Jr. doesn't get hurt that game, that he might have won that game. So, but so they were in it. They've been there. The Cowboys haven't sniffed the fucking title game.
So, all right. I like it. Cowboys fans or SEC fans?
Oh, come on, man.
Oh,
Come
don't
on.
do it.
Come on, man. Dude,
SEC fans are garbage.
Dude, it's still the Cowboys, man. It's still the Cowboys. There's only one fan base, and you're not gonna have it on here that
We
are
don't know
more
that.
delusional. I'm
We don't know
1,000%
that.
sure. Who else?
We
Go
don't
ahead.
know that. All right. Cowboys fans or LeBron James fans?
No, LeBron James understands greatness. I'm one of those people. You see what he did last night? He's the first player ever in the history of the NBA to have 15 points. There goes my camera. 15 points. 15 points.
Fix your
15
camera
assists.
first. Fix your camera first.
Oh.
Bruh, I can't do it. I can't. For the people that are watching, this man just said that Cowboys fans are better or less delusional than Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift fans. Travis Kelce and Taylor Swift she last year was on trace to ruin the NFL. And I'll stand on that. I'll take all the shit for it. She was on trace to completely ruin the NFL. She disparaged the message completely. I mean, every game, every time the Chiefs were on, they're panning to her, you know, just showing her. And at the end of the day,
No, I get what you're saying.
But
So LeBron fans, it's not even a thing. Like the thing is, it's not that I'm a LeBron fan because I don't like LeBron as a day-to-day person because his views are political. His political views don't align with the amount of money that he has, right? But he wants that. And yes, the amount of money that you have and businesses that you have should align with your views. But he makes money based off of his popularity. So I don't give a shit about any of that. But on a basketball court, LeBron James is the best player, in my opinion. I'm not a fan of him. If you look at my room, I have Bo Jackson all on the wall, Michael Vick, Connor McDavid, Ohtani, a couple Trout pieces. I have 4 Bo Jackson pieces on here. I'm not a fan. I'm a fan of the game that he plays, the way he plays the game. That's what I'm a fan of. So so it's not delusion when they're backed by actual stats and facts and shit that he's done on a court. Last night, 15 points, 5 assists, 5 rebounds in a quarter. Nobody's ever done that in the history of the NBA. This man does it 3 months away from turning 40 or 2 months away from turning 40. So come on. Cowboy fans are much more delusional.
All right. Cowboys fans or Kobe fans?
Oh, there it is. There it is. Kobe fans. The delusion of Kobe fans that he's even in a conversation of the greatest of all time when he's not even in the conversation as the greatest Laker of all time is a major problem. And these guys like Gilbert Arenas and this and that. Gilbert Arenas is a Laker fan who grew up, who when he broke into the league with Kobe Bryant was shining in the league, and he can say whatever the fuck he wants to say about him. Kobe Bryant he took what Michael Jordan did on the court as far as his demeanor and just made it a little better. Okay. And people think Jordan is the greatest of all time. That's your opinion. But Kobe's stats, his missed shots, his everything about it doesn't make him the greatest of all time, or the greatness that his fans think he is, right? Like when he's won 5 titles, he's only been finals MVP twice. And one of them, Gasol could have got it because in reality, that game 6 and 7, he should have got it actually, because games 6 and 7, as soon as Perkins left in that first quarter, he dominated the glass, which helped the Lakers win that game, that series, that finals. So, Kobe, for people to say, oh, like people who, Jordan and LeBron, people who understand that it's Jordan and LeBron will never say Kobe. It's Kareem before that. It's Magic before that, just as a Laker. So you're not even the best Laker ever. How are you going to be considered as the best player of all time? And Kobe fans are on that level of delusion where they believe that. And in reality, it's not. It's more Laker fans, right? And guys who grew up that are, between, I don't know, like 21 and 32, 21 and 35. Like, you're such a homer to your team that's who you watch. I watch Kobe every night to watch him lose. That's dead ass. I watch that man play every night to watch his ass lose. So when I saw him with 1:10 left and they were down 3 and he'd missed 2 shots and then they get a bucket coming down and then the game's within 1 and he hits a game winner, that's because he had missed 5 shots before that within the last 2 minutes of the game. Like, his greatness on his game-winning shots and all that is statistically not what you think it is. It really isn't. So for you to have that delusion that Kobe Bryant is considered among the 3 greatest of all time, it's just a delusion. And it's ridiculous to say, because he's not better than Kareem and he's not better than Magic. It's a Laker. As a Laker, he wasn't better than those 2. Now you want to bring him into the whole thing with LeBron James, Michael Jordan, Kareem, arguably Larry Bird, arguably Magic Johnson, Bill Russell, Tim Duncan. Yes, I said Tim Duncan.
Wow.
The big fundamental.
Jeez.
4 NBA championships with a bunch of second-round picks and him. So he didn't. And the other thing about Kobe's greatness, and there's no denying Kobe's greatness. Kobe had these guys all have a greatness to them. The problem is he wasn't the greatest. He wasn't the best player overall, right? And he wasn't the best. When it got down to it, he was the best at what he did in his era. Yes. He was the best finisher in his era. Absolutely. He perfected what Michael Jordan was doing. He did it a little better on the offensive side of the ball and probably the defensive side of the ball. He was a better shooter than Michael. But he always did it in a system as Michael. And the difference with Kobe's system was that he always had a dominant big for the most part. He had Shaq. Then he had Gasol and Andrew Bynum. He had Dwight Howard. He always had a big that was either the best big in the league or one of the 3 best bigs in the league. He never did it without them. And the difference with LeBron is that LeBron's done it with when he went to Miami and Bosh and Wade came over. Bosh never made an All-NBA team ever. He made one all-time in 2008 with the Raptors, and that was the second team. So Bosh was never, ever, ever one of the 3 best forwards in the league. He didn't make either of the first 3 teams at forward or at center. Okay? Yes, he had Dwayne Wade. No, I'm not saying no. But when the first run he had in Cleveland, he had one All-Star one time. That was Mo Williams one time. And Big Z one time. Zydrunas Ilgauskas one time. When he went back to Cleveland, he played with Kevin Love and Kyrie. Never in a year did Kevin Love and Kyrie both make the All-Stars or an NBA team at the same time, by the way. Kobe always had Paul Gasol, either first team or second team All-NBA defense, All-NBA. Okay? So the delusion of Kobe fans, that is the biggest, that they're the most delusional. That's the most delusional fan base because they're just Kobe fans.
I think I have one to beat you, but we're gonna keep going. I think I have one to beat you, and I think it's a shocker, but we're gonna keep going. It's at the end. Kobe fans or MJ fans?
No, Kobe fans, because MJ fans. When you talk to them, it was a level of greatness. It was the first one to do it. And that was the first time really on TV where we had more cable, more access to television at that time. Like, kids in people in the 60s and 70s weren't fucking sitting there watching TV as they were in the late 80s and early 90s, right? And there were much more games on television when Jordan's era. So, their level of, And Jordan went 6-0 in the 5, blah, 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 blah. But Jordan was the first dude to do a lot of things. So definitely.
I like it. All right, we'll run through these next few. But so we're stuck with Kobe fans. So Kobe fans or Lakers fans, but I'll skip that one because you said that's kind of the same thing.
It's same, but different.
Kobe's fans, and the last one to hit it off, Kobe fans or Kamala Harris fans? Which one?
Man, Kamala Harris fans, most delusional people on this planet, in this great country of the United States of America. The thing about these people is like they can't give you. They're so it's not even about being Kamala Harris fans. I think it's more about just not voting for Trump. Is what I really believe it is. And so because when you actually sit there and we go through and we can go through a bunch of different things and just common sense, like you don't need to be someone who's completely into politics just to see the common sense of a lot of these things. Like, you're going to sit here and I heard someone say the other day, oh yeah, because she said she doesn't want to tax tips. Well, Trump said that first.
Yeah, she said
literally
he
said that. She stole that. And then she's making you guys believe this Project 2025. Be realistic. There's a reason, and people should use this as common sense. There's a reason that the media and all these, that they don't want Donald Trump. Even certain Republicans don't want Donald Trump. You know why? Because they cannot control Donald Trump. He will say whatever the fuck he wants, and he will go out and do and get things done in the way that he sees fit. There goes my camera again. Give me a second. Oh,
yeah, we're good.
Nah,
the camera problems for sure. We gotta figure it out.
Man, I don't know what it could be.
I don't know what it could be either.
Because it says it's got full battery. So,
but for the people watching, what do you guys think? Like we're live chat podcast. Like you guys free comment. I agree with Rafa. Kamala Harris fans are definitely worse than I'm not a Kobe guy at all whatsoever. Never will be. Because LeBron James is just that guy. But
yeah, the Kamala Harris thing. I mean, it's like, you know what? Do some work. And you weren't a Kamala Harris fan 4 years ago when she didn't win one fucking. What did she get? Not even a couple percentage points in her own state?
Tulsi Gabbard dropped that ass with 2 lines in the end of her campaign.
Exactly. So if we're not, you didn't like her before. Why do you like her now? Because she's not Trump. That's the only reason that you like her. Because CNN and MSNBC and all these idiots that programmed you about COVID-19, the same idiots that programmed your ass to stay inside your house, to visit your grandmother through a window, a fucking happy birthday through a fucking drive-through at your damn house, which is the most ridiculous shit ever. Okay? So all those idiots, they programmed you to do that. Those are the same people that are programming you to vote for Kamala Harris. The same people that didn't let you choose your Democrat nominee this year because Biden dropped out and they just, it's going to be Kamala. Like, this is the United States of America. You were supposed to elect your candidate. And you did not do that. They just threw her out there, shoved her in your face. But there's people that they love to be told what to do. Yep. They want the government to control their life, to tell them what to do, what not to do, what to think, where to put their money. And that's what the Democrats do. And those are the same idiots that are going to be voting for Kamala Harris. The people that identify as cats, the people that think it's okay for men to play against women in sports, the same people that think it's okay for you in the state of California as a teacher, if my son goes to your school and he thinks that he's a girl, that you don't have to tell me. Those are the same people that are attacking your children, the same people like P. Diddy, who's fucking drugging people at his party, Britney Spears, Cassie, and a list of Justin Bieber and a list of others. Those same people, because you've seen Usher come out for Kamala. You've seen Beyonce show up at these things, paying $10 million to Beyonce for 2 minutes. What does Beyonce relate to you? In what way does Beyonce relate to you? But it's about being popular. It's about being popular for these people, and that's what you guys believe. Well, Beyonce's going to vote for her, so I got to do it. Really? Beyonce has millions and billions and gazillion dollars that you'll never have. They can take half of her money, and she's still fucking loaded. But you're delusional. That's it. Democrats is always the popularity. And that is the problem we have in this country. And the Democrats are now starting to feed you this whole bullshit of the electoral college, how it's racist and blah, blah, blah. You know what? It's not even close to being racist. This country is made up of 50 states. Okay. It's not made up of New York, California, Chicago, Dallas, Miami, Las Vegas. Okay. It's not made up of those cities. It's made up of 50 states. Okay. Over 3,000 counties make up this country. And for everyone's vote to count in their state, or at least the vote state to count, okay, there has to be this in place. Because how can we elect the president from just Los Angeles, basically, because we have the most people? It doesn't make any sense. Why should we? What does California provide to the rest of the country? Most of the food in this country comes from the Midwest. Why should their vote not count? Why should they have their policies the same as California's or the same as New York's? In New York, you're full of rats, homeless, immigration. You think they want that shit in Kansas, Missouri, Alabama? No, they don't want that. They don't generate the same amount of money either. So since they don't generate the same amount of money, how can you stick them with the tariffs and taxes and all the bullshit that you have in your state? In California, we pay 50% gas tax. Why should they pay 50% tax in Missouri? At the end of the day, if you're going to do that, then we don't need states. There should be no states if you want to remove that. But that doesn't make any sense. And it's unfair to the central of the country, right? And to the 2,500 counties in this country that vote Republican. At least they did for Donald Trump. 2,500, over 2,500 counties that vote for usually Republican. Why? Because those counties are small. They generate money, food, et cetera, that keeps this country running. So for you to come out and say, and they've already started running it because they feel that, of course, they're going to get the popular vote because, like I said, it's popular to vote for Kamala Harris. It's popular to like Taylor Swift. Okay. It's popular to like Beyonce. They're popular. Steph Curry. They can never relate to you ever, ever, ever. You can never relate to them. They don't relate to your struggles on a daily basis. They don't. Okay. And if your issue is because abortion, you live in California. You shouldn't have any issue with abortion. You get abortion whenever the fuck you want. Okay. So, and I'm not saying term wise, I'm saying like you don't have to leave the state like you hear other people. Oh, I live in this state. I got to go to the so-and-so state to get an abortion. That's fine. This is state law. If you don't like the state you live in, leave. As many people have left California to Texas. Now in Texas, a lot of people that have left California have moved to Texas, and now there might be a battle for Ted Cruz's Senate seat. And that battle, you're going to see that if he loses that, it's going to be because all the people that move from California to Texas, they are Californian. They're turning their Texas into California. And if that happens, Texas, believe me, people who move there, you're not going to like the way shit turns out because those Texans aren't going to put up with it for too long.
Nope.
That might be the first place to have a fucking civil war just in the state.
Oh, it won't be a civil war. They'll wrap that shit up real quick.
If that gets going. I'm just throwing that out there. That's a dangerous play there in Texas if that thing goes the other way. But
moving on to we're gonna move on to our the game, man. In LA, the first two games were just electric, especially that first game, man. In the city, the traffic was crazy, and man, that was a shit show.
It was a shit show. I mean, you had the Trojans kicking off at 8:00. You had concerts all over town. You had the Lakers playing at Staples. You had the Dodgers and Yankees. I mean,
Bosco
Mater Day at SoFi. I mean, the shit was out of control. There were games all over the place. Bosco Mater Day was SoFi, right?
No, Bosco. So there was a game at SoFi, another high school game, but Bosco Mater Day was at Santa Ana.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, it was a shit show anyways. But listen, game one, I mean, the Yankees, Aaron Boone, Juan Soto, and I believe I'm watching that game. The Dodgers, they put the Yankees in position to make decisions that they made the incorrect decision. Soto's play there on the double by Kike that turns into a triple. Actually, it should have been a double. He played it completely wrong. Should have been a double. They never score in that inning. The next play, Ohtani's ball off the wall. When that ball comes into Torres kind of comes off the glove, heads up, base running by Ohtani, gets to third, and they end up scoring there. Those 2 runs for the Dodgers there shouldn't happen. They really shouldn't happen. And you give a good team, a great team. I'm not going to say a good team, but the Dodgers, a great team and a great offensive team. And you give a great offensive team a chance, and they're going to take it from you. And you saw it there in the bottom of the 10th. Freddie Freeman, Aaron Boone went on and he walked Mookie Betts. And I don't know why he walked Mookie. I mean, if you knew the numbers for Freddie against the lefties, 8 of the last 13, I think it was in the playoffs, or 8 of the last 13, whatever it was 8 for 13. And Freddie made it 9 for 14 real quick on the first pitch. And you know what? And when we look at this series, a lot of the Dodger fans, and I feel like it was an excuse. And I'll be honest with you. Let me kick on this AC behind me. Yeah, it's getting hot in this motherfucker, Mike. But no, I think it was an excuse by the Dodger fans. I'll be honest with you. Oh, yeah, we don't have pitching and this and that. Let's look at the 3 guys that are pitching. Before the season started, you always thought when Walker Buehler came back, he was going to be your third guy, maybe even your second guy. You didn't know what you were getting from Glasnow, who's been up and down. Historically, he's been up and down always. His ERA always hovered around the 4. So Glasnow gets hurt. You go and Buehler struggled to come back, and when he came back, he wasn't good. You went and got Flaherty. It's a hell of there was 2 pitchers you get at the line. They got one. Tigers decided to keep the other, and you see that they made a nice run in the playoffs. So, but the 3 starters you have, Buehler, Flaherty, and Yamamoto, haven't been bad. And they were, in reality, they were 2 of the 5 you were thinking of having. And then obviously then you traded for Flaherty. So the Dodgers bullpen has been sensational. I mean, they've been sensational without a doubt. Dave Roberts has managed his ass off. And it's hard for me to give props to that man because of what he did in 17 and 18, 19, 20. Well, in 20 he won, but there was a worse manager than him on the other side. But he's done a phenomenal job. Dave Roberts has done a hell of a job. And the team's battled. And, and the Yankees need to take a hard look. Do I still want Aaron Judge hitting third? I said I think they should move him to fourth or move him to second. Let Soto hit behind him. He's done nothing in the series. And I mean, it's just bad. I mean, he looks bad. The Yankees hitting for the most part hadn't looked good. Last night you had Volpe come up there. I think it was bases loaded. I think it was. And at first pitch is just a sweeper completely across the plate, and he's out there swinging. The count that he should have been at a 3-0 count there, and he ends up. But it's all been bad for the Yankees, and it started with Game 1, and you saw Jeter and A-Rod say that. It started with the decision in Game 1. And I thought it was a lot earlier than that in Game 1. I thought it was Soto's laziness in right field. And people are going to say he's a Gold Glove candidate and all that. I've seen him with a shit ton of blunders this year. There's an actual fucking video on it. And we're going to see if we look at what he's done in the playoffs, he's probably one of the 3 worst outfielders in all the play, and at least the 3 worst right fielders in all the playoffs so far this playoff. So I really thought he cost them. I really believe that he cost them there. Just misplaying that ball was really bad on Kike's ball. And then Ohtani's ball, I thought it was more Torres' fault, just coming off the glove. But Game 3 tomorrow at Yankee Stadium, the Yankees obviously need to have it. And you're going to have Buehler on the mound tomorrow. And we'll see what the Yankees can do. I mean, the Yankees got to come out. The Yankees don't outside of Garrett Cole, the Yankees don't really pitch. I mean, Gill started off and had a phenomenal year, and then he fell off. Nestor Cortez had a bad year, and you saw, Freddie put his ass out of his misery for probably the entire series, I would say. I would anyways. So, the Yankees got to win. They got to win. It starts with obviously one game at a time, right? The Yankees got to win tomorrow, and we'll see. But man, the Dodgers just look like the team to beat, the team of destiny, man.
World beaters.
Oh yeah, no, they're phenomenal. The Dodgers are phenomenal. The lineup, Edman, that was a great pickup for them, for Edman there. He's done so much. And actually Game 1, he struggled in Game 1. I thought the ball found him in Game 1 where it was, infield hit to shortstop. This, that, like he's literally lined up. He was positioned perfect on a couple base hits up the middle, and he just couldn't react. They were hard liners, hit right past him. But I thought one of those he could have snagged maybe. I think it was one off of Soto's bat and another one off of, I don't know if it was Stanton's bat or maybe somebody else, but it was a shot right up the middle. And he was basically positioned there and he couldn't make a play. Hard liners in, line drives. They weren't on the ground. But, I thought game one found him. Game one, the ball found him on defense and the Yankees couldn't make him pay. And there was a play there where he makes behind second base where Chisholm's at second and there's 2 outs. Slow grounder, ball gets behind the bag. He should have been turning and scoring. And actually, when Edman makes the play, Edman fields the ball facing the outfield. So he still needed to turn his entire body. Chaz is a lightning rod. I think he sold 3 bases in game one. He should have scored on that play, is what I thought. I thought he should have scored on that play. But, and I they maybe didn't want to be aggressive. You got to be aggressive. It's the World Series. You got no chance. Like this is it. There's the best of 7. You pulled Garrett Cole in game one on 88 pitches of a game that you felt like he was dominating, and it looked like he was fucking dominating, and hell, everybody said he was dominating, and you pulled his ass. So I think the Yankees have shot themselves in the foot, and the Dodgers have capitalized as superstars that they are. So, but let's move on.
No, I like it. That's all we got for today, man.
All right, brother. Well, thank you guys for tuning in to the Yappin Podcast. We appreciate you guys, and we're on every Thursday and Sundays, sometimes live, sometimes not so live. But we'll let you guys know. Thank you for tuning in. Check out Cut, Kutt. Download the app. Okay, keyword Yappin. Okay, that's your discount code. 10% off your first bonus, or 10% bonus actually on your first deposit.
Correct.
All righty.
So we'll see you guys later. We appreciate you guys, man. Keep them in, and we're going to keep in the content, keep it running, and make sure you guys hit that subscribe button later.